Hello, everybody. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and I am thinking my way through the Harvard Project Zero thinking routines. So if you want to help me with this one especially, studio-nemo.com, or find me on the Minecraft Education Ambassadors or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge, or on the Duolingo Educators Network. So we are in synthesizing and organizing ideas. We're on generate, sort, connect, elaborate. And again, all of these thinking routines are located right here. Link in the description. This is a routine for organizing one's understanding of a topic through concept mapping. And as I kind of alluded to a second ago, this one I've struggled with. This is difficult because there's so much English in this one. Because I teach mostly lower levels, and when I do my deep dives into culture, I throw in a lot of English because otherwise the students won't understand. But I really want to make sure they understand. When they get me off topic onto a tangent, that's actually the part of the class I love the most, maybe because I know that the learning is going to stick deeper when they're asking something that they're personally interested in. So I've got a whole bunch of lectures. I've been teaching a while. I've got a whole bunch of lectures in my back pocket. I can easily pull them out and bring them up. But frankly, my students just generally aren't linguistically ready for a lot of the things we discuss unless I code switch back and forth with English. And so that's my struggle with this one in the step one of this one. This whole generate a list of ideas and initial thoughts that come to mind when you think about this particular topic idea. Lots and lots of sentence frames, lots of word banks, or basically I do that heavy lifting myself and try to predict what my students are going to say about this. But again, this is usually like me being flexible that it has just come up, so I've got to generate this list on the fly. The next steps of the routine I really like. That's the sorting, the connecting, and elaborating on these ideas. And I pull an idea from this book, The Strategic Teacher by Silver, Strong, and Perini, 2007, which I really like. This whole book I really like, but they've got this one particular chapter that's called Inductive Learning. Expected to take 45 minutes. Expected to take longer than you think it's going to take, basically. Give it 45 minutes at least, all right? So I'll talk about it in a second, but first of all, if you are teaching grammar explicitly and you need ideas for that, we always start with that. Pop-up grammar, grammar translation method, audiolingual method, you're looking at transformation drills, community language learning, and you're dissecting a script or class wrote, or you're working straight out of your textbook. Let's focus on that first. Take 15 or so vocabulary words out of a story, mostly words that your students need to know to understand the story, but you can also include words that the students already know, keywords that are essential to the story, whatever, okay? And so I give my students instructions. You're going to get a pile of words in a dictionary, and here is a graphic organizer I give them, and it's just got the ovals on it, and you'll see in a second what I do with this from inductive learning. And here, because we're trying to get them to have that critical thinking, I allow them to write in English up here if they want, if they're sorting their words by some category that they don't know in the target language, okay? And of course, there's more space on the back if they need it, and they can plop over the lines and all that stuff. I have to set out the rules, first of all. Nothing's set in stone. You can change your mind. Be flexible. You can put one word into more than one group. Be descriptive about your groups. You can't just say adjectives, okay? It's got to be really descriptives. Adjectives that describe the sky, okay? And give each group a label that describes why you put each word in that group. All right, so that's the setup if you're doing grammar. When you're applying this to literature, culture, history, art, music, a recipe, I cut these words out in cardstock, okay, and then I show the students on the board, and I'll let them use a physical dictionary, not an electronic dictionary, obviously. Okay, so they can pull out, they can figure out what some of these words are, but they might need to refresh their memory. So anyway, I really like to cut them out in cardstock. And let me show you, well, because the students, if they're holding something in their hands, it's more kinesthetic. They're going to remember it better. They're going to be more intellectually engaged in it than if they were just writing. Okay. So I know the normal inductive learning, you're writing it in those little ovals, but I have the students play with the cards first. So the very first year, I cut them way too small. This is way too small. They were getting lost on the floor. They didn't all get back into the bags right here. This was a pretty good size. Nowadays, I'm just plain lazy and I write them really big, like 48-point font, and I just go slice, slice, slice right across, and I call it good, okay? Because it's really quick to do it that way. But a couple years ago, I started, instead of me cutting them out, I make the first class of the day cut them out. So that adds like 5 minutes to the lesson. But it's either, hey, here's your cards, cut them out for me before we begin, 5 minutes extra in the lesson, or it's me for an hour in the workroom cutting them out. So I'd much rather the students do it, frankly. And then, of course, after each class, make sure that they look on the floor to make sure that they didn't drop any. That's kind of why I went to these big ones right here. But even here, make sure they don't drop them. And then the students can stack their cards here and arrange their cards here, and then copy them over into the ovals when they say, okay, I'm comfortable with this group of cards that I have right now. And then I always finish with the gallery walk, where everyone goes around to everybody else's tables and sees how other people arranged their words. In our next episode, we're going to be doing beginning, middle, and end. This is the first of the Exploring Art, Images, and Objects section, because we've already talked about all the other ones in this section. Hope to see you there.